This is the Social Development Studies sample lecture. We're going to learn today about extroversion. If you haven't already, you can download the TIPI, the 10-item personality index, on the same website where you find these lectures and calculate your score. It's your E score, the first two items. I see myself as extroverted, enthusiastic. I see myself as quiet, reserved. And if you do, you'll find that you get a score somewhere between 2 and 14. Now, researchers have given this survey to hundreds and hundreds of students across North America to try to get a benchmark for where the population falls on average. And what they find is that scores around 8 are about average. Those people are right in the middle on extroversion. People who are about 5 or below would be considered quite low. People 11 or above would be considered quite high. You won't be tested on this, but if you're interested, that corresponds to 1 standard deviation above and below the mean. And most people are going to tend to fall somewhere in that middle range. People who are higher on extroversion are talkative, assertive, outgoing. They like socializing in groups, and they tend to talk a lot. If you are higher in extroversion, then you've probably found the social distancing requirements, especially staying at home and staying away from big groups, to be difficult for you. Extroverts are happier when they're in big groups and when they can socialize a lot. People lower on extroversion, who could also be called being higher on introversion, so introverts, could be described as being quiet, shy, and inhibited. They're not antisocial, but they prefer socializing with 1 or 2 good friends at a time, and they don't love making small talk. They'll speak when they have something important to say. We live in an extroverted culture that requires people to act extroverted even if they're not. Many social situations require that kind of behavior. To do a job interview, you have to be able to talk about yourself for a long time with people who are probably strangers. In an open concept office where there aren't walls, there are just partitions and desks, everybody's with each other all the time as they're trying to get work done. And so these can be fairly well suited to people who tend to be extroverted in the first place. But for people who are more introverted, that's going to take a toll on them and they'll need to rest after. Now introverts have been able to come out and have their voices heard thanks to the internet and social media, where introverts have gone and created memes to express to extroverts what it's like to be them and how they feel. Now this is, of course, a huge exaggeration because these are internet memes. But it's only because of, I think, the internet that introverts started to come forward and explain to extroverts what it's like. It's not, so what introverts tend to say to extroverts is, I like you and I want to be around you, just not all the time. And sometimes, can you just stop talking, please? So that's introversion, extroversion. Next, we're going to talk about agreeableness.